Bright and sunny conditions here at Phillip Island for setup day ahead of the Phillip Island 360, the penultimate round of the V8 Supercars Championship. The weather is set to turn this weekend, so let's go and check it out with the teams ahead of the weekend's big races. It has been a few weeks since the V8 Supercars last raced on the streets of the Gold Coast, and we're at Phillip Island this weekend, and I've grabbed the boys from Erebus Motorsport. And Tim, in terms of a break, do you think you guys needed a break, I guess, as a driver, sort of physically, mentally, after such a big October?
No, not really. I would have preferred to just bang out the next few races rather than have a few weeks in between. But I managed to get in a couple of trips. Went over to the States with a few mates. Actually, Jack Perkins and Moff and a couple of other good mates. So we got over and saw Speedway at NASCAR at Texas. So that was good. And Adelaide last week for the Clipsal launch. So we sort of squeezed a fair bit in.
And for you, Lee, it was a great October, great endurance season. How do you carry that over back into sprint race mode this weekend?
Yeah, not too much changes really. I mean, we want to keep the momentum going and the consistency going, obviously, that we've built on over the endurance events. Obviously, I don't have Beardo with me this weekend to help me out on track, but look, we've had really good speed and come a long way in a short period of time, and it's hard to know how we'll go at the island. We'll just have to wait and see in practice and try and work on the things that we've learned over the past couple of rounds and see whether we can get back up there. I think it should be, our cars are handling quite well. We're still a little bit down in power, but hopefully that won't affect us too much at the island.
And for you, Maro, you whipped up to Macau in the GT3 in the SLS. That was a great weekend, but unfortunately just didn't quite finish off the way it started for you.
Yeah, it was fantastic to get back to Macau. I've done it once previously 7 years ago at Formula 3 and was always wanting to go back. It's just such an amazing place and an amazing track, and yeah, we got pole position in the lap record, which was awesome, but puncture sort of crossed our plan in the race. But it was still, it was a great weekend, and really looking forward to the island now.
And Phillip Island is a track for the first time you've raced at in Australia before.
Yeah, that'll be a difference. Raced here at Phillip Island last year in the GT, so that'll be great to come back to a place that I know and that I've gone successful at. So we'll hope for a really good weekend. Hopefully get inside the top 10.
And Lee, there's big talk about, especially when the motorbikes ran with the MotoGP, with a lot of heavy tyre wear. How do you think it'll transcribe to your car this weekend?
Well, Tim and I did a bit of testing down there in the GT car, the Erebus GT car, at the start of the year, and it didn't seem to be overly grippy. I mean, it's obviously a lot quicker, a better surface, so I don't think it'll have too much effect on our tyres this weekend. We've seen problems with tyres in previous years at Bathurst and that sort of thing. We didn't have any of those problems this year. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be real quick down there. I can't wait to get on. I don't think we're going to have any issues.
Tim, you've got the shades on now, but it's looking like a typical Phillip Island weekend you're going to have everything in terms of a bit of warm weather, cool weather, and maybe some wet weather. Yeah,
it's actually surprisingly mild here in Melbourne at the moment. It's actually a lot better than what I expected, but I think Saturday, by looking at the forecast, looks to be the worst day. So I'd be very, very surprised if we didn't have at least one wet session throughout the weekend, which will definitely spice things up a bit.
In terms of the odds for the top four in the championship and some sneaky money, let's have a look at the odds thanks to Ladbrokes. Jamie Whincup is a $3.50 favourite ahead of his teammate Craig Lowndes, who was $4.50 to win the opening race at Phillip Island. Lowndes, who took a narrow lead in the championship points after the Gold Coast 600, represents a fair bit of value, considering he has an imposing qualifying and race-winning record at the picturesque track. For those wanting a bit of value, the FBR boys of Winterbottom and Will Davison are on the next lines of betting at $8 and $9 respectively. Looking at a real long shot with serious claims, don't discount Scott McLaughlin at $29. Checking out the Coates Hire leaderboard, and it remains Red Bull Racing Australia, but it is Craig Lowndes out front for the first time since really the start of the season. For Performance Racing is still very much in with a shot with Mark Winterbottom and Will Davison. It's back to a regular type track schedule after the Pertec Enduro Cup. So there are 3 30-minute practice sessions on Friday, with the first session for rookies and the bottom 50% in the championship. Saturday there is another 30-minute practice, followed by qualifying and the opening 60-60 split race. Sunday has 2 separate qualifying sessions and 2 100-kilometre races in the afternoon. Across the country, all the races on the weekend will be on the 7 primary channel. V8 Extra will precede the race telecast, with things kicking off in Sydney and Melbourne at 2:30 p.m, an hour earlier in Brisbane, 2 p.m. in Adelaide and 11:30 in Perth. On Sunday it's 1 p.m. in Sydney and Melbourne, 12 p.m. in Brisbane, 12:30 p.m. in Adelaide and an early start of 10 a.m. in Western Australia. For high-definition replays, check out Speed at 7:30 p.m. Saturday and Sunday evenings, plus further replays throughout the week. Whether it's V8 Supercars here at Phillip Island or Mark Webber's final ever race in Formula 1 in Brazil, stay tuned to speedcafe.com across the weekend for all the news from around the world.